Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dallas County Board of Commissioners work session. Today is Thursday, September the 4th, 2025. Appreciate everybody that's with us in attendance, as well as those that are with us online. We'll get right into the new business. First up, we have the presentation of mutual aid agreement between Dawson and Lumpkin counties for fire and emergency services. Emergency Services Director Troy Lease. Chief.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Mr. Chairman, Lumpkin County is in the process, or will be in the process, of going through their ISO update. And as part of that, they've requested us to update our mutual aid agreement with them. So I'm here to ask that you all approve that, and so we can move forward, and they can move forward.
Questions for the chief? It's pretty much standard stuff.
Stamp of approval.
Standard stuff. All right.
Is this yearly?
No.
The mutual aid agreement? No, usually they're put into place until they need to be updated or just indefinitely, or something changes.
Kind of like this time where they're doing ISO, so you have to have new material.
Yep.
Sound like a plan.
Chad, did you have a question?
Does that need to be moved to the 9th, or is that?
No, it can go to the next meeting. We found initially there was a hurry up from them, but they've since said we've got a little time. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have presentation of resolution authorizing the Director of Public Works to execute options agreements for the purchase of right-of-way. Public Works Director Robert Drury. Rob.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. This particular item in front of you is a resolution that gives the authorization for Public Works Director or a designee to execute option agreements for the purchase of right-of-ways. A little bit complicated, and I understand that and respect that. It has been actually drafted and reviewed by the county attorney's office, obviously related to road projects, SPLOST or T-SPLOST, but we're going to always make the effort of negotiating and coming to property owners with fair, reasonable requests. And if we are able to facilitate a negotiation for right-of-way, then there's an option agreement that the property owner sign, and we'll also sign as well. These will be repetitive. These will be somewhat redundant because they're pretty standard stuff as you go through the process throughout any right-of-way negotiation. But like I said, the chairman or the county attorney has drafted the resolution, and it's pretty clear in the resolution that this gives me the authority to execute those option agreements as long as every particular project is within budget. That's going to be critical because we're going to give you a budget figure for each road project, and we have to stay within that budget. If it gets outside of that budget, obviously we'll come to you individually. Any questions?
Questions for Robert?
I would like to add one more, excuse me, Chairman.
Go ahead.
One more thing. We will bring these together and come back to the board to ratify them once they're done, and we got them all.
You can handle it.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. You got the next one too. Presentation of a resolution authorizing the Public Works Department to proceed with necessary property and property rights and interests with Elliott Road project.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. This is specifically for Elliott Road. It is a resolution not only authorizing us to proceed with acquisition. In this particular road, it's acquisition of temporary and permanent easements. We are not acquiring any fee simple property. But this is just for the temporary easements and the permanent easements. BM&K has estimated the acquisition cost at $40,000. And with this authorization of this resolution, then it will proceed with the acquisition, and negotiations and option agreements will be coming from that point on. But the budget will be $40,000.
Questions for Robert?
And again, the county attorney has drafted and approved the resolution.
Ms. Davis, you got anything to add, or you good?
No, Robert covered it perfectly. Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right, we'll move on to number 4. Robert, you have that one too. Presentation of RFP 480-25 on-call right-of-way land acquisition.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, we got a PowerPoint presentation prepared by Ms. Hawk in our purchasing office. Similar to on-call engineering services that we brought to you several months ago, we have 6 engineering on-call services to do roadway design work related to transportation projects. This is the second one in that phase. This is actually for right-of-way acquisition services. SPLOST 7 and T-SPLOST both allocate road projects, and there will be right-of-way acquisitions throughout both of those projects. We want to have on-call right-of-way acquisition services really to do a lot of the boots on the ground work. They'll be getting the documents together, the appraisals, the packages. There's a lot involved in before they even knock on the first door, but they'll be making the contact and negotiating with the property owners directly. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. BM&K drafted the scope for the right-of-way services, and let's see. We want to open agreements for at least 2 of these on-call services so we can spread the workload out, so we don't do specifically by one service. And as usual, we followed our bid policy. We went through the RFP process, and the RFP evaluation committee was the county manager and the CFO, Natalie Parker Johnson, and myself. So basically, the scope of work is this right-of-way on-call service will review the plans, titles, prepare status reports, and then meet with the appraisers. And coordinating the title services and reports, all that's got to be accumulated with the packages, and be coordinating directly with the county attorney's office on our behalf. And the negotiation, as you see the 3 bullets there, is really the boots on the ground work. And they have to create and keep these files because they're public information. And if in the event we have to go to a condemnation, they're going to be directly involved in those as well. So we solicited proposals, got 3 proposals in return. They've been scored, and we've got a financial cost per hour, and that's the way we based the financials on this. And we are prepared to recommend, well, let me read this. It might be easier. Pricing represents the hourly rate, as I mentioned, and it does give us the ability to do apples-to-apples comparison when we do it at unit cost per hour. And then that total is given a score. So staff respectfully requests the board to accept the proposals received and award a contract to Colliers Engineers and Design and THC Inc., utilizing that hourly rate submitted. And of course, the funds will be from SPLOST 7 and T-SPLOST. And the special note on the bottom is that pricing will be requested per each proposal when we have each proposer may have a different approach, so we'll be getting hourly costs from each one of those proposers, and that'll weigh into the factor of who we select. So that is our recommendation. Open for any questions that you may have.
Questions, of Robert? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next up, we have presentation RFP 481-25, Design Build Services, Fire Station 3, Fueling Station, Purchasing Manager Melissa Hawk. Melissa?
Good afternoon, Commissioner, and all of our other commissioners there. So as we know that SPLOST 7 include a new fire station, and it also includes a new fueling center. It was bid according to policy, and we received actually 8 proposals. We're getting better and
Awesome.
better at getting these things in. Our evaluation committee was comprised of our county manager, the fire chief, and our public works director. We also used Gerard Development, who is our contracted consultant, and he did a non-weighted review of those proposals as well. This is going to be a design build, as y'all have seen in the past. It's got 3 phases for design, and it has the construction phase. During the second phase, which is the detailed schematic phase, that's when we'll get the guaranteed maximum price offer. If it's more than what the construction cost was that you guys will look at now and vote on the next session, then of course we'll come back to you to talk that price out with you. But if not, then we'll go forward with the construction. Some of the scope of the work for this is going to be for the fire station. It's a 6,048 square foot building. It's 3 bays. It's pre-engineered metal building, and it includes living and sleeping and office areas. For the fueling center, we are looking at a 20 foot by 70 foot by 3 foot steel canopy. I'm not going to go over all of that you see here, but it talks about how big the storage tank's going to be in our fuel system, that sort of thing. This slide contains all the offers that we received, and Scroggs and Grizzle's total cost is $2,784,000. This very busy slide, because we had 8, is what we received for the technical and cost scores total. The county actually held 2 interviews, one with Reeves and Young and with Scroggs and Grizzle, to determine who they thought would be better for the county to do this project. And they have chosen Scroggs and Grizzle. And with that being said, we request that the board accept offers received, award a contract to Scroggs and Grizzle in the amount of $2,784,000, utilizing the SPLOST 7 funds. Any questions?
Questions for Melissa?
Have we done any business with Scroggs in the past? Do we have any?
Very, very, very much over the years, not so much recently. They've not done the bigger projects that we've had, but many in the past.
They hadn't built any playgrounds for us anytime soon.
No. That's a whole nother subject.
Other questions for Melissa?
Too soon, Chris. Very much too soon.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next up, we have presentation of memorandum of agreement between Dawson County, Upper Chattahoochee River Soil and Water Conservation District concerning plan review. Community Development Director Richard Osborne. Richard.
Thank you, Commissioners. Community Development currently holds the title of Local Issuing Authority for civil plans review. Before we can issue a land disturbance permit, somebody from either the state or federal government staff has to review the erosion control part of civil plans, and that costs our citizens time. Up to now, county staff has not had the authorization from the staff of state to fully review civil plans, including erosion sedimentation control portion. Community development staff have been working on documentation and a co-review process this year between the county and the state before we can have full county in-house review of plans to, again, because this is not a matter of days, this is weeks that is costing our citizens in time. And so we're working towards a full in-house review where this change would be for the Board of Commissioners to approve an MOA, a memorandum of agreement between the Upper Chattahoochee River Soil and Water Conservation District and Dawson County. Also at the same time, just by the way, Forsyth County and City of Dawsonville have been going through this same process. Upper Chattahoochee River SWCD and the State Soil and Water Conservation Commission must also approve the MOA. Once all groups have approved and the August to November current co-review process is over, county staff in December would begin the in-house review if the Board of Commissioners approve this MOA, and then the different state-related groups approve it. For our county staff, Lacey Edwards, our erosion control plan reviewer, has been doing a great job of working through this documentation process and doing plans review on a co-review basis with the state. And then Logan Hammond does a great job as our inspector for erosion control. So this recommendation would be on September 18, a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement between Upper Chattahoochee, SWCD, and Dawson County.
Questions for Richard? This is the job that the lady that retired used to do for us, right?
So in years past,
Over there
the
at the-
federal government through the USDA, that's right, an NRCS staff member would do the erosion control portion. And with the cuts in budgeting at the federal level, that is slowly going away. And so this year, the state has been reviewing the erosion control, but they just have their office in Athens that does the review. So the cost, the time factor is significant. I think starting in December, if the BOC and these state groups approve it, this will be a good savings of time.
Sounds good. Other questions? Thank you. All right, you have the next one as well. Presentation of proposed text amendments to the Dawson County Code of Ordinances, Growth Management. Go ahead, Richard.
Thank you, Commissioners. As part of this year's review of development matters, while the moratorium has been going on for new residential development rezonings, staff reviewed the county code for possible changes. April 2023 was the last date of significant code changes related to growth and development. Staff obtained input from citizens, business owners, other property owners, long-range planning committee members. The Planning Commission gave input and unanimously recommended the changes that are proposed. We've also gotten input individually and as a group from the Board of Commissioners and then various departments. And also comparisons of other North Georgia counties. These changes are also in line with the results of the 2025 Community Growth Survey that was completed by over 1,300 individualized citizens. Aaron and others did a really good job of working to make sure that somebody couldn't just push the button 10 times and fill out the same survey. So, and of these 1,350 plus citizens who filled this out, 99% identified as Dawson County residents. So what did that survey tell us? 83% said the county was growing too fast. 68% said that housing most appropriate for the county was just single-family homes. 57% said that for new homes, the size of the property or the lot size was most important to them. 54% said that when residential growth occurs, traffic was their most important concern. Of these changes, the county attorney's office has provided input and staff has made their changes. And again, Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval. What we're looking at is requiring a special use case for new event centers when they're in our agriculture areas, the RA district. Short-term rentals are intended to be just one main single-family residence on the property. We'll confirm that. And also around the lake, when there are very small lots, less than half an acre, it could have a potential negative nuisance impact. And so for new proposals, we're proposing to set that at minimum half an acre in order to have a new short-term rental. Chapter 117 is the Georgia 400 overlay district. Right now, it's mostly guidelines. So it has a lot of, you may do this, you should do this, it's a good idea. But in order to fully utilize these and have the highest quality standards possible in the 400 overlay district area, it would change from may and should to shall and must to have those really be enforceable regulations. For land use, we're proposing to require greater amounts of open space, to have higher, more significant architectural standards for new developments, to delete townhomes from the list of allowed uses in the RT district, to recognize that the planned commercial district, CPCD, has not been working well. And so although it would stay in place for existing zone properties, there could be no new proposals to rezone property to the planned commercial district. Larger proposed minimum lot size in residential districts such as RT, RS2, RS3. Larger buffers, proposed 50-foot buffer would be required around the entire perimeter of a new development. Require more amenities, and of those amenities, more significant ones for new developments. Require for new residential developments a pre-application meeting, both with staff and also with members of the community who live nearby within 500 feet of the subject property. They would be notified, and there would be a community input meeting before the rezoning application. And this would not be on a holiday. This would not be during the daytime. This would need to be at a reasonable, 5, 6, 7 o'clock type time frame on a date when as many people as possible could attend and really hash things out with the developer before ever coming to Planning Commission and BOC. On the other hand, we do understand that heavy commercial and light industrial, there are many positive contributing light industrial uses like shared flex space. And so we would propose to add those to the heavy business CHI district so that it could truly be a better zoning district that more people could use. We have a lot of HB, highway business, and a lot of IR industrial. And we've got the CHI on the books, but it's not very well used right now because it doesn't allow for many uses. Restrict the amount of variances that can occur. We've had concerns about people wanting to squish properties into being very narrow, and then you end up having homes or townhomes, especially homes that are very close together. So for example, instead of somebody applying for a variance to reduce from 10 feet on the sides to 2 or 4 feet, the maximum reduction would be go down from 10 feet to 7 feet. Change the density calculation back to the gross calculation. It was that way 2 years ago. This is just a return where it's a little more understandable for everybody. If you have a zoning that's 2 units per acre at 100 acres, 2 units times 100 acres equals 200 units. So pretty understandable. The current net density calculation with constrained lands is somewhat difficult for a variety of people other than civil engineers to fully 110% understand. So just going back to gross makes sense. Add requirements that the new standards would apply to already zoned properties that have not obtained a land disturbance permit, recognizing that somebody may have rezoned property 10, 20 years ago, but when they go to develop the property, it needs to meet today's higher standard quality requirements. Add an option for reduction of setbacks by 20%. And this is really for our lake lots where there's been a lot of good reuse of property. Somebody buys a lake property where it's a 40, 50-year-old house and maybe a little shed, and they want to build a nice new accessory building beside it, or they want to do a building addition onto that. They want to, really make this property and this house great for them and for the community. So on properties, especially lake lots that are less than half an acre, we're seeing variances every year, multiple variances, and they almost always get approved, where somebody wants to go from 10 feet to 9 feet or 10 feet to 8 feet just because they want to get a little more square footage on their garage. And it's typically not a big deal. So instead of, reducing by 10% or 20% coming to planning commission, it would be more of an in-house staff determination. And then add a limitation on the number of rezonings. Really, when we get applications for 2 or 3 residential developments at the same time to be on the same agenda, can be somewhat overwhelming for the planning commission. If somebody proposes where between 2 or 3 developments, it's a total of 1,000 units, that's a lot to handle. So really just change that to say 1 residential development rezoning per month per agenda of the planning commission. And then within chapter 133, Public Works, Mr. Drury has provided some great input to really update the standards of chapter 133. And then also based on board input, we've added an option for a rural subdivision to encourage large lot developments.
Questions for Richard?
I don't have any questions. We've been looking over this for quite some time. I do just want to make a comment that there's some big changes, and this is a direct reflection of input that the community's given us in trying to go in a direction that we as a board want to go in as well. And so it's a tool and a resource that we have in our toolbox to be able to try to manage the growth that is inevitably coming to a highly desirable location. So I commend you and your leadership and the board of getting all this put together, because it's not been an easy task and it's taken quite some time, which is why we've been under moratorium to allow you guys the time and flexibility to do it right. And I think that there's probably some additional tweaks that we may want to look at, and we'll communicate that as well as we get additional feedback from the community.
Yeah.
I'm just going to piggyback off what Chris said. I certainly appreciate you and the time you and your staff put into this, and particularly getting the citizens' input. I think that was a big push from Alexis. So thank you for pushing that. And I certainly think that our citizens have spoken, and we are hearing them. And I think y'all did a great job trying to push the needle. But to Chris's point, I think we can push that needle a little further. And I know have not responded to your email yet, but I'll get with you next week. We'll set up a time to meet. I think there's still some changes that we can certainly make in that to kind of meet some more of the concerns that the citizens have.
Y'all have done a good job. Appreciate it. Really good job. Thank you. All right, next up, we have a presentation of the Dallas County Employee Handbook revision. Joey, you gonna do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The last update to the employee handbook was done in September of 2022, so it's been has been 3 years. This update is primarily to capture items and language that's already been approved by this board or implemented since the last revision. It's essentially a cleanup. This document, I believe, has been shared with the board a couple of times with different red line versions, so you could see clearly what was changed. A large portion of it doesn't change, but there are some needed cleanups to be done in this. The one new item in page 43 and 44 was related to the employees that are at or above the maximum of their salary. That does create, that is a new provision in an employee handbook I wanted to note. But most of this document is just a cleanup, and we asked for the board's permission to adopt it starting in October.
Questions for Joey? Thank you, sir. County manager report.
No report tonight, but there is a need for an executive session related to land acquisition and real estate matters. And if the chairman and board so desires, we might be able to do that between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. Think we could get it in.
County Attorney report, Ms. Davis.
No report, sir.
Okay. All right. So that concludes our,
I'd like to make a recommendation that we look at items 1, 2, 6, and 8 for consent agenda.
1, 2, 6, and 8.
Correct.
Okay. Y'all
And
good?
then I make a motion that we go into executive session.
I have a motion and a second to go executive session by Commissioner Gaines, seconded by Commissioner Stowers. Discussion.
Just to clarify, the purpose would be for personnel, I'm sorry, land acquisition
Land
and real estate. Yes, thank you.
For land acquisition. Hearing none, please vote by raising your right hand. And that's all approved. Oh, you can click.
It doesn't matter. We got it.
We got it.
Mine's like the main screen.
Okay, we're good. All right, so we'll be back at 6 o'clock.